I've not lasted that long in a long time.
12 seconds without at the end of
I think it was it 12 without that, right?
Just about 12.
I've not lasted that long in a long time.
That's what she said. But anyway, welcome to today's Green Sunrise podcast. We have 3 excellent guys, and well, 4 of you, well, include me. But today we're going to interview, without the other 2 next to me, we're going to interview Jerry Taylor, actor, producer, podcaster, ACSOM extraordinaire,
Jack of all trades.
Top goalie.
Top goalkeeper.
Top goalie. And also we've got...
Sure you ask.
It depends. In fact, we'll go to Brian Mitchell first of all before we ask. Brian Mitchell is in as well, and we've also got Wee Wido. But first of all, Brian Mitchell, before we go to Wee Wido, what's happening, mate?
Why do you always select one person as a star man? You always do that. You always go, there's another couple of guys here, but
You've had your day.
He's the man.
I know, I feel like... I feel special, but...
You're special.
Yeah.
Special to me, darling.
Thanks so much.
No, you've not done the sponsors. I'm going to
We're going to sponsor them, innit?
And then, because I need to get a special shout out, right?
Right.
2 of the sponsors, we need to apologise, because the last episode,
That's right.
you missed 2 prime sponsors.
2?
Yes. Oopsie daisy.
There's a new one.
Bishop Briggs, the best florist in the entire planet.
That's a good name, that. Oops a daisy.
Hoops a daisy. Hoops a daisy. Hoops a daisy.
Hoops a daisy. Is that what it's called? Hoops a daisy.
Oops. No, it's definitely hoops a daisy. Yes.
Wait, there's that.
If it was doing the Gallon Garden, maybe hoops a daisy.
You could do that call selling them for us.
The owner is from the Garangad. However, 2 things. She doesn't come from that sort of side you might imagine, and she's also, I've done this disclaimer before, she's been married to me for 22 years. So this issue caused a lot of problems in my household.
I can imagine.
2 reasons. And you also forgot the Eclipse Running Club.
That's new. To be fair, that is new.
Which is my eldest son. My eldest son helps organise that, right?
Who's also, by the way, a host.
A contributor.
A contributor to the Green Sunrise podcast.
Now, where it all kicked off was my son Adam, Eclipse Running Club, gave your man here a ticket for a game in Glasgow. It wasn't the most enthralling, but you still got a ticket.
Yep.
Right? And he went and sat with his pals, but he kept that ticket. He went to a game in Spain, which was extremely painful.
Yep.
And then so he decided to go overlap by going to Amsterdam and his cousin, and he spent a few days here. So he came back and he had a game on a Sunday to go to watch his favourite team, which they done very well. They won 6-0. However, the controversy was he still had the ticket. So there was a lot of anxiety in my house. Now, to quote the owner of Oopsie Daisy, who wasn't mentioned either last week, her words were...
3 mentions already in this show.
Her words were, if that cunt does not appear with a ticket, because he's a sponsor, he can stick his money up his arse. And worse than that, my dinner was on. I wasn't getting any dinner.
Can't mess with a guy's dinner.
But unfortunately, as you can see, I like my grub.
Potentially,
unfortunately, you saved the day.
Potentially, dinner was in the dog.
Because we couldn't get a hold of you. And then you were on the south side of Glasgow, and you were like, but you saved the day, as usual.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for pulling me down a level, because I need that.
Oopsie daisy, Eclipse.
Oopsie daisy,
You've
Eclipse.
been mentioned. That's 4 times.
And
That's 4. Oopsie daisy. Get your money's worth now, yeah.
Some cycling thing or something mentioned at some point. And then it was Oopsie daisy again.
Eclipse.
It's not 1980s.
This is the plainest t-shirt I've ever seen you wear.
1980s running club. It's that running
Fair
club,
enough.
not a 1980s nightclub. I know it's sort
But it's like a running club. Folk go have a drink and jog on the spot and all
I
that.
go jogging on a Sunday morning.
Jogging this in the morning.
Which is great for which is great for mental health.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
Only if you date on a Sunday morning, or
Aye. Well, the thing
Saturdays are
about
shit.
moving to Saturdays, you know, I
Saturdays will
would
drive
be
you to
there.
depression. But on Sunday, you'll be focused.
You're going to mention the Candy Rocks.
I was the
Club.
Candy Rocks Walking Club. They've got one I think every Sunday morning.
Every Sunday morning about 9 o'clock. They walk for about 5
Oh, wow.
miles.
Did they have one as well?
Aye.
It's definitely something I need to get part of, but it's because it's Sunday morning. Sometimes I'm away and stuff.
The candy, you've got a better St. Rocks, but there's mine, the candy.
Is that yours? I've got my
Yes.
St. Rock. Because of that wee prick there. to get this.
Oh, hold on,
That was a bit harsh, wasn't it?
that was very harsh, but let me see that.
St. Rocks, so I had a challenge with Wido when we first ever met.
That was
That
the
was the first day we met. First day
Was
we
that
met.
the first time you met?
Aye.
So it was like an instant love.
For
It was
then,
like,
it's just been a
honesty.
pure whirlwind bromance.
I've been banned. I love this boy more than it. Like, so we'll go straight into this then, eh? But 4 months now, isn't it?
Is it?
Maybe three.
Maybe 3, yeah.
I was just gone sober, and through my pal Lisa McLean, I met Wido doing basically with a Celtic state of mind. Paul John Dykes. We'll get back to that, but
Aye, of course,
get back to that. I've got a
definitely.
big thing I want to say about a Celtic state of mind. So we went to do a challenge with St. Rocks for a laugh, just to advertise the game. Not that it needed advertising. It sold
These
out
are all
really quickly.
football players I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
but then to be fair,
we'll
you're a
get to that.
goalkeeper. You're a goalkeeper.
what I will say
Top
is,
goalie.
Aye, top goalkeeper, Brendan Rodgers quote. We did have to play down our skills a wee bit, didn't we?
did, yes.
For the purpose of the video. Right?
Yes.
For the purpose of the video. I can do 5 keepy uppies, you can do 6. no, we're actually a lot better than what we made out. Not a lot better.
Is that I hadn't kicked a ball for about 2.5
It was
years.
the worst crossbar challenge.
Oh, I won it, mate, and that was only some of the footage. We were there all night, but I've always, I'll say this as well, right? I got jealous of him once, right, before we'd met with my missus, and she's like, "You seen this guy?" And I was like, "Aye." And I watched him and I went, "He's dead good looking, he's dead funny." And I went, "Oh, I bet you fancy him." That was part of my drinking because I was paranoid
Aye,
about
right,
everything.
okay.
And she was like, "Oh, so you lost a follower because of me." Right? And then all of a sudden she sees that I'm besties and she's like, "Oh, aye, knew you're besties." So I met him. That was all part of my. I was just fucking everyone. I was just
Maybe he was stalking you.
intimidated.
Maybe
No.
he was stalking you, mate.
I'm stalking
Quite
him now.
possibly, aye.
I'm stalking him now. But we met that day, and I've always loved him online. And this, not just he's funny, the stuff he does online, raising money for people and just putting things out there on the map. There's nobody better than him. He's a genius, by the way. So fell in love with him straight away as pals, and we kind of make jokes. There's loads of folk online message me all the time. How's your wee bum chum?
No.
You know? But he's been there for me through the hardest parts, which was going through the breakup and not drinking. And every single day he's messaged me. Every single day since we met him.
mate.
We've got a group chat. Lisa's the same, he's Mrs. Vicky. They've turned into my 3 best mates. And I mean that. I'd be drinking by now if I didn't have them to wake up to in the morning and group
great.
chat. And he's always,
Mate,
"You all right?" Took me out my first sober night out, didn't you?
I seen that. I seen the footage.
And he
for
was
that.
always like, "I don't know if you even know you do. You all right, mate?" And I'm like, "Aye." And your missus, Vicky, she kept going, "You know, you can just..." At one point I thought she was trying to get into me. She kept going,
You know you can leave."
just leave at any point.
The door's just over there, like.
And I'm going, "Should I be gone?"
I know.
If you need to, get
over the mic.
Can I just put something in?
Aye.
See,
beg your pardon?
see on Facebook. That I goes back my life
Chatting your man
again.
up here.
Right? See on Facebook, I've noticed there's a couple of people I used to go to school with, and they've put in, you're an inspiration. We took Thomas Toner, Louise McClellan was the one I spotted. You're an inspiration, Jerry, and you really are. You really are at the moment.
100%.
What you're doing, what you're producing is fantastic. It's powerful. I watched ACSOM one afternoon, and you gave, you spoke really from the heart about your situation, and that was really powerful. I seen the comments coming through.
It was a tough one to do, and I mean this, right? Now, you joke about it more than anyone, right? But when folks say we're attention seekers, and we are, because we want to have a laugh, and you put it in your bio, I want attention. I even say I don't want cremated, I want buried, because I want attention when I'm dead. But when it comes to this, I know there'll be a lot of people out there going, "Look at him using his alcoholism just to get attention." It's definitely know that.
No.
Paul John Dykes, one of the founders of Celtic State of Mind, has been amazing in my recovery because... Where was I going? What did I say just before that? Attention and all that.
Yep.
And I spoke to him about it. I says, "Look, anytime I post something on Twitter, I seem to get, I'm 2 months sober. And I had 3 guys message me going, I'm struggling. And the two out of the 3 guys joined AA, and now they're in recovery. And I thought, this is quite big. And I thought, I spoke to Paul John. He's really sensitive, and he was really sensitive about the situation for me. He's not a sensitive guy. And he just said, "Look, if you want to talk about it, you can use it as a platform."
Yeah.
Which is great because it's a Celtic platform, but it's a Celtic state of mind.
Yep.
And he's big on the mental health side of things and all that. So he let me have 5 minutes to basically reach out. I'd written a Christmas article. I'd written a Christmas article basically, and it made me really sad. And it was like I was going to be alone, missing my missus. And not drink, because if an alcoholic, Christmas was brilliant. You drink at 8 o'clock in the morning, nobody bats an eye. It's great. So Paul, I spoke to him about it, and he said, so I used it and I reached out, and I don't want to say too much because it's confidentiality and everything, but I mean, hundreds of people got in touch through the Celtic State of Mind podcast and everything, and I think out of them, there's at least 30 odd we've given the A number to. Some of it was just mental health, it wasn't addiction. And now I'm pals with some of them, and I've got hundreds of messages. I had to stop, like, I couldn't personally get back to them. I was writing paragraphs to them all, and I knackered myself out with it, and I just finally got the helpline number, so I've just been sending that on.
Yep.
So every time we speak about it, it helps, and that's why I'm doing it. That's why the documentary's following us about.
You do that, a lot of people,
and you guys are great that way as well, and this is why I'm on it, because of what you do.
I sometimes think you actually, I know that I think it's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the amount of times I've seen you, it's like strangers will contact you and you just spend time with them, especially the suicide awareness stuff, which I don't know if you know, Paul does a lot of work on that. A lot of, private stuff you don't really...
Most of the stuff I do is private, and it's through just what you're saying there, mate. You're kind of putting yourself out there. And I don't come from anything like that, but I talk about it, and if I interview people like it, and then I put it out and somebody contacts me just off the cuff. You must get that all the time. People contact you off the cuff, and you're like, that right?
Do you feel like, see, when it comes to addiction, a lot of my stuff I'll share is at the weekend, because that's when you... That sounds bad.
Yeah,
that's when you...
That's when it is.
When I was drunk, that's when I wanted the help.
Yep.
It's when you sober up and you go, oh no, I'll be all right, and you're embarrassed. But when you're drunk, so the amount of folk that will have a drink with them and they'll say, look, I'm drunk tonight, I'm reaching out, so I have to say to them, message me tomorrow when you're ready. And a lot of them do, some of them they won't. But it's like the weekends, that's why you'll see me.
Yep.
But also, see, weekends, I don't know for any addicts, but if I'm up at 1 a.m, because I'm wired, right? I'm always wired, so I'm 4-5 hours sleep's all I need. But if I'm up at 1, I'm like, I'm not going to like that tweet, because folk will go, why is he up at 1 a.m? Is he drinking again? So I've got loads of this.
So that's kind of in your head.
So I'm always watching what I post or what I say. Like, even going out in the pub, what was I like with my Brute? Every photo, and I'm going, just so folk know I wasn't drinking.
Just to make sure people.
But then you got the trolls going, much were you sniffing?
I know. You're going to get that anyway.
You're going to get that.
Everyone thinks I'm a sniffer. Because of how I'm like.
On life. You're high on life.
I wasn't allowed blue Smarties at school. I wasn't allowed some things for the tuck shop because I was that kid that was just...
The first time I ever seen you was up at St Knox, and I wasn't expecting you. I've got a season ticket at St Knox, right? And I went out of you, and I'm like, the wee man down out here, and I'm like, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, me Jerry. And you were just walking around everybody, and apart from me, you must have fucking...
Sorry, mate, did I miss you?
Wido's dealt with him, you've got that sorted.
And everybody just introducing yourself, and it was, and I thought, because you were stood in front of me, and while we're saying this, I need to apologise. Next time I officially meet your friend Lisa McLean, I follow her on Twitter, right, and these things. So I'm standing at the St Knox Athlete game, and I'm going, I know that girl. Where did I know that girl from? But because I'm from that neck of the woods, so I'm thinking, is it somebody's daughter?
Where are you from?
St Hilla, grew up in, but I went to St Knox Secondary, you know.
Right.
And so I will know, so there'll be hundreds of people.
She's an lassie.
Everybody will come up to me. Every week I go to somebody that I'll meet away at school with, I work there and stuff. I'm like, where do I know that girl? But I'm not the type to go and go, have we met before? You know what I mean?
Oh, she's brand new, isn't she?
You have to say, sorry if I was rude. She might have just seen me go,
why is that guy staring at me?
Because I'm like, I know that lassie. And then, ironically enough, I think it was that Saturday night, and she was on Twitter. I think it was maybe pictures with yourselves, but she was dressed up in a sort of vampire wedding outfit.
Aye,
and
for Halloween, aye.
That's where I know that lassie for.
That's right, Halloween. That seems like he just...
I think Lisa in that aspect is quite naive to the fact that people might recognise her, but even though she throws pictures and stuff on her up on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, I think she's naive to the fact that people might recognise her.
I think we are to an extent, because when it went to Grace's with you...
I don't think I'm naive to it. I notice him miles away, man. Like I could be sitting here, like a big guy in the room, and I could just see him staring at me. And I done it in Gracie, I done it in Conley's when we were at it. You were there in Conley's. But I can see him staring at me, and see, instead of having them walk away staring, I'll just walk up to him and just say, all right.
If you ever walked up to them and they go, who the fuck are you?
But you just know.
Can I just say the last time we were on this together, right? It was, you gave the revelation that you were like, that is me, I'm done with social media, never again. And since then you went from strength to strength.
I have, and you know, I'd actually like to talk about this. The reason I stopped, because I'd put a video up the other day on TikTok, and TikTok removed it for whatever reason. The guy messaged me, the guy left me a comment, basically said, I'm so glad I made you delete your account, because I was about to delete it. And so a fella messaged me, and he's like, and this was probably the first charity thing I'd done. And it was basically like, my wee boys just had a liver transplant, smallest baby in the UK to ever get one, and they were trying to raise money for the two charities that helped him down in Leeds. So I was like, no bother. So I was like, do you know what, I'll put the video up, I says, and I'll keep my account going, so there's no point in me putting a video up, and 2 days later I'll shut it down. And the video done well, and then I was filming that in my other videos, but still talking about that, and then I just started my video.
What was his name for you?
His name's Brian. I can't mind his second name, and he'll kill me for that.
Dodgy name.
That is high. Brian,
hate that
it's
name now.
Mick something. Sorry, but we're good pals now. We talk all the time on the phone and that.
How good are pals like?
No.
Is he your best pal? No?
He was a serial killer during the week there. The Unabomber. What was that?
Oh, this is what you want to talk about, isn't it?
What's happened there? What's happened there?
So basically, I was on Twitter. I don't know what I'd posted. And then somebody come up and says, "Oh, you stole all that headstone money." So that was the other charity thing.
Oh, sorry, I seen the video that you done to kind of
for the headstone, right? And so, as I says to them straight away, like, I know my conscience is clear. I didn't. The GoFundMe page that was getting ran, it was nothing to do with me. I was basically just a mouthpiece. So there was no physical way for me to steal money. There was way cash I'd go off people on Twitter. A boy on Twitter.
Was it John? Was the name John?
John was the name of the guy.
Another John that was
John. It was John's daughter, and then it was another John that ran the GoFundMe page. And we go at it. It was brilliant. It's the grave's beautiful, and it ended up. So we raised just over £5,000, but he ended up getting the headstone for nothing from George Rooney Memorials in Barhead.
Right.
Who a fella for Paul just phoned me one day and he went, "I've seen your thing on TikTok. I'm good pals with George Rooney Memorials, and he wants to do your whole headstone for free. Doesn't matter what they want, I'll do the whole thing for nothing. They'll plant it and blah blah blah."
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
Don't quote me on this, but I feel that the guy who phoned me paid for it. But I could be wrong.
Right. Okay.
I'll no name drop him because I know
it doesn't matter. But it's still
he said that for his start. He said, "I don't want any thanks, nothing." That's
that's the good ones, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the good ones.
And he's a nice guy. He phones me every now and again as well, and I knew, as I say, I knew my conscience was clear. But the other day, was it whatever it was, the first day, and I just blocked the guy. So I've just blocked him. And I can't be bothered with this. And then he's posted up, because I've blocked him. He's posted up and went, "The truth hurts." And I was like, "Do you know what?
Yeah.
Unblock." all it takes is for the wrong person to see that and make it into a bigger thing than it is. So I was like, I'll just respond to it. I'll give my proof that the money's hanging me. I get £350 sent to me, and I get £50 in cash. And I've got proof that I sent Bay for him to the boys.
As soon as I seen it, the guy had the Una Bomber manifesto.
Aye.
He came for me about a week before that. He wrote, I was talking about my AA, you like this one, Paul, and he just went, "How about next time you take your 12 steps off a fucking bridge, you alky bastards?" Right, but see, that's the thing. I laughed. See, when Malky days, I'd be like, "Get his IP address." Well, we kind of have a wee bit. But anyway, that was nothing. But what he was saying with him. But I get, like, people go, see amount of folk go, "Just block and forget." And it's like, right, I can do that. But how many people will read that and make their own mind up, right? It's no true, but that's because you've got to rectify it.
Especially because before I blocked him the first time, I sent him 2 replies, right? One about his weird behaviour at football games, and then one basically saying, "Mate, I've got proof, blah, blah, blah," and then I just blocked him. But a lot of my posts get quite a lot of traction on Twitter, whether it's a reply or whatever. So all it takes is for people to see my reply and then go, "Right, what's been said?" And then automatically people think, "Oh, there's no smoke without fire, this guy must know something." But it's internet, you can say what you want and get away with it as long as nobody pulls you up for it.
See, what we are talking about, like raising money, before we forget, because we were talking about this on the way here. I mean, I think it's phenomenal. See the money it's raised for wee Jamie Tierney through ACSOM.
phenomenal.
The Jamie Tierney things. Yep.
Do you want to maybe want to use a wee bit of background on that? Because I know I seen you on
I
TikTok.
done a video for him. It's basically, don't ask me to remember the name of the condition he has. Do you remember?
So it's something muscular dystrophy. No, I don't know either.
No, I think
Some muscular dystrophy.
yeah,
something.
it's basically a muscle wasting disease, and it affects everything. Organs a lot, so like lungs, brain, it affects everything.
And he's a child, isn't he?
And he's only a child, he's only a young boy.
9?
9, yeah.
9.
And basically, without treatment, they reckon he would only last his mid-20s.
And how much is it again he needs per year?
It's 20 grand 3 times a year. So every 4 months, yeah. And I think, is it South Africa they go to, or South America?
South. It's the south of somewhere, but
Whatever it is, but that's, so they need to travel every 4 months and
No,
basically
some of the donations you see
get this treatment, and
fantastic.
they done well. And then I went to they had a ball in Dunfermline, which is 5 minutes from my house, and they had that on, so I went to that as well. And they raised a fortune. They raised £17,000 that night.
that's unreal. And
Crazy.
Paul John Dykes is massive. Giving a push for it and all the events he does. So people will see him. Paul John got a bit of stick for accepting an award wearing a suit, and folk are like, you forgot where you came for or something like that. And I was online going, no, wait a minute. See the work this guy does behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Not just with the ACSOM, with me as well. He would be phoning me all the time.
Yeah.
He was like, honestly, like a guardian angel for me. He knew that was, and he didn't need to keep giving me all the gigs he was giving and all that stuff. And it's voluntary with ACSOM, but he knew if Paul John could pay everyone, he would do it, right? But he's not got that money.
He's got that many people that are doing it like yourself.
Because we want to do it for.
Yes, 100%.
Because this guy he started it, him and his pals, and it's over 6 years, it's got bigger, and it's about their state of mind. All the events are getting bigger, that he puts the money into the Jamie McTierney. And because they used to call him Wee Jamie Tierney, and I used to think he was saying Wee Jamie McTierney. I'm going, who's Wee Jamie McTierney? I was always googling this. It was Wee Jamie Tierney. But he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And if it wasn't for him and the ACSOM team, see all the contributors. We've got a group chat. They've only known me for a couple of months, and do you know what? I'll be honest. They could have went, "Who's this new guy that's come in, going away doing all this content?" But it's been the opposite. They've been so supportive, so encouraging.
Well, I've met them as well, and they're really good boys.
Great boys, and some of the lasses.
I
as
like
well.
the gigs of the poet. Remember we met him one night. You really need to get a wee guy on.
Kev's brilliant.
Kev's brilliant. I would love
I
to
speak
get Kev
to
on.
a lot. His poetry's brilliant, and he said he won't even know this. He's helped me a lot. He's at the events, and I'll always kind of open up to him, and maybe too much.
Aye.
I've never
Who's the other boy?
again.
Who's the other boys? Lloyd Joseph?
And he said Jepson.
Lloyd Jepson.
Yeah, big Lloyd Jepson, and he's been.
He's a lovely boy.
Lovely big. They all are, mate.
I know.
There's not one of them.
Sorry, I need to interrupt. My boiler went today, right?
Right.
Water pissing out it. So, an amazing book written by some guy called Jerry Taylor.
Have you read it?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Did you like it, mate?
I've got it as well. So I've given it to my girlfriend. I love it. So my girlfriend, she read
didn't
the
make
first
her buy her
page.
own copy, no? That's all right.
A wee signature.
Oh, I've never done that.
It's going on eBay tomorrow.
I'll devalue it, mate.
Right.
So,
And you can
wait,
see-
you want me to say, do you want any, who's it for you?
Aye, for me, aye. It's not
to
for him.
Brian.
So, and
To
3,000 if you want to see him giving birth, 3.5 if you want to see him naked. Is that all right?
They'll give their money back, mate. Trust me. Right, to my fave
I never even
podcast.
thought they did that. Obviously, my girlfriend's got it. She bought that.
Well,
It's absolutely amazing.
It is. It's a brilliant book, you know.
good.
well, I wrote this.
Brilliant.
Do you know like why I wrote it and everything?
No, I don't know what you wrote it, but when I was reading it, I was like,
it's a good question to ask.
it's what?
Aye, so
So why did you read it?
it was all.
Why did you
I didn't watch
so
what
when you
I
read
didn't
it-
watch what I say here because it's sensitive, but it means a lot. So basically, my ex, who I drove away through drink, basically.
Right.
So I need to watch what I say. So my ex struggles in life with mental health as well, quite openly, and sometimes things would happen, and she would beat herself up about it. So I promised her that I would. There was abandonment issues there, so I said I would never, no matter what ever happened, and I meant it, and I still do. No matter what happened, I would never leave her. So how do you convince someone that? So I thought, I'm going to write a book for her. I wanted to write a book. I was always going to write a book about these two serial killers, and I just thought, well, me and Megan. So I thought if I use that as a vessel, we're not serial killers, but I want
You, Wido, obviously are.
we're serial killers.
Potential.
We are.
Potential.
We are. I wouldn't put our stuff
Look at his eyes. He's Megan knows nothing about it.
So I thought I'm going to write this to prove how much, no matter what happened, I would never leave her. And then 2 weeks later, she had to leave me because
Mate, I
wasn't there.
When I read the book, at the end of the book, obviously I was greeting. I was greeting just before the end.
Cheers,
but
mate.
I was actually greeting, but so I could tell it was coming from somewhere. But now you've told me where it's come
all
from.
the stuff that they talk about in Love Seal, the pinky to pinky, skull to skull, it's everything that was us. That was our stuff, and like the campfire stuff. We go camping and all the everything.
Aye.
Apart from the killing things.
Yeah, apart from the killing.
Apart from the killing things.
But they need to say that legally.
Yeah.
You could follow that up. I mean, Grace is a character that you could keep. I mean, that's how, I'm a massive fan. I've said this before. We made David Keenan on.
Aye, that's right.
Irvin Welsh and, how he grows the characters and stuff. I don't know if you've ever read David Keenan's stuff.
I haven't.
It, man. I adore it. He's a fantastic guy.
He's a beautiful guy.
A genius, author, musician, tarot card creator and reader. He's just amazing. And a fantastic DJ. I would highly recommend his stuff. But that's what I thought when that book. There's characters there that you could, you could build on.
You could
Funny you should say that. So I've started the sequels. I can't give away too much about the ending, but put it this way: Grace will return.
Brilliant.
So it's been decided recently. It was hard for me, but I've made a decision recently that Grace will definitely be returning.
Brilliant.
So yes.
Right,
You're doing an Audible and all.
I'm doing so that's what you're doing before we come in.
I've not done it. We're halfway through it, and with Paul, it's so tough because obviously it's the first time I've had to read it.
So what are you doing? Are you just doing an audio, or are you doing
the book?
Are you doing a visual?
No, just an audio. So I know a lot of the authors don't use their own voice, but because this is so personal to me, I thought, I'm going to do it. But
no, it's a bit
halfway through reading it, man, it was tough.
For me, it would sound weird in somebody else's voice because even when I read it, I read it in your voice.
Oh,
in my head.
The only thing I
you
would
wanted
say
it in
is-
his voice, didn't you?
It's because he's selling so well. So he did a TikTok. It was doing all right. He's done a TikTok, and it's just
I never
life-changing.
I never liked the Audible. I always just like the book. And David Keenan said to me, he recommends Audible.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And at first it took a wee bit getting used to because one of his books that I still hadn't read, and I was sitting in the bus going to my work, and you're hearing this guy that it's the same when I read you listen to your
podcast
Spotify podcast. You're on a bus and it's a guy and you're like, it took me a wee bit up. Where's Paul? Where is he?
I've never listened to an audio book. I don't think.
See, I like to listen. I'll usually go and pick my kids up on a Friday, and Friday traffic at the time I go and get the kids is mayhem. So you're a bit going for them film. You're nearly an hour and a half. So audiobook on. And you're living a dream, man. It's just journey flies in. You're just concentrating on what's on coming through the speakers. It's brilliant, man.
Well, my mates had been saying it for ages, and they're honest to that. I'm not reading that.
No,
It's the first book I've physically picked up and read for years. Everything.
Actually, he's right. It's
For
same
a
with
good
me.
4 or 5 years.
I read books, but I don't know many. But that was the first one I was like, actually, it's quite easy because you've got it in a quite short form. It's like 11 chapters.
As soon as you handed me it, man, I was delighted. I was like,
You even put that in your statement. By the way, I was delighted when I saw how short it was. It's a novella, so it's a story. It's not a full book. I've got my behind you, Me, Myself and Weed. That's my first book that I've not really told folk. That's my autobiography.
Oh, Chris Taylor, of course.
So that was for Chris Taylor before I changed my name.
See, I was just about to ask you that. See, Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption's about that size. I don't know if you ever.
Is that? I didn't know that.
Redemption's not a big book.
No.
I knew that.
Is that right?
Morgan Freeman's speeches are bigger than that book in the film.
Stephen King.
A lot of Stephen King's wee novellas are the ones that make it into movies because they're easier to pull apart and make a movie out of.
And to extend it into
because you can have a team more work in that.
I think there's a movie in that one.
You can fill in all the gaps yourself
100%.
theatrically, so it's quite good that way.
I'd love to film it. I'd love you to be in it, man. You could be one of the nephews, couldn't you?
Two things.
Let's go for it.
My youngest, Jack, is at the Theatre School of Scotland.
Right.
And he's doing fantastic.
What age is he?
17.
Right.
So I was at a thing the other night and he was doing the Black Watch right?
Was he in Black Watch?
Aye. So it was a bit.
That's a heavy show, man.
I was saying to him, it was a bit. I'm still trying to get over the trauma of seeing him acting, masturbating to a porno man, right? Now, my wife did say.
You sure there was acting in this, or was it
Sounds
just
like
going
mad.
fake?
I think she had to watch me do it for real.
So my wife did say, right? My wife Pamela did say, that's the first time I've ever seen him acting like you.
So the first time he resembled Feather was when he was a wanker. Right.
So
That's not very
different
nice,
story, but no, he's doing amazing. June Brogan Glenn, who
I know June.
Yeah, so June's met
she
June as
started
well.
at Mary's Theatre School.
What a lovely woman. I was in the show with her, was it the summer of '69 at the Pavilion, and I played the wee schoolboy.
So she told him, we got him involved in that, and she's basically our Friday night drama club since he was 8. He's addicted to it now. Him and his mate Jamie's fantastic as well. But I thought I'll ask Jerry about 1, he's acting, and 2, Chris Taylor, who is Chris Taylor dead or?
Aye, well, it's a weird one. So Chris Taylor's my name. So Chris Taylor's my name. Wait for you to slag me. Apparently I say to folk, I'm like, hi, Jerry Taylor. He's like, oh, Jerry Taylor. I don't know why I had the Taylor now. Jerry.
Did you ever think you were called Chris?
No, it's weird. And I do that. I'm like, was it up at the Celtic? We were up interviewing Fran Alonso. We were at the Celtic. We were watching the Celtic women's train.
Yeah, Jerry Taylor.
And one of the players like, hi, Jerry Taylor. He's pissing him so laughing. He's like, hi, Jerry Taylor. And it's like, why did I do that? And she'd be like, all right, I'm Jerry.
But it's like that. It's like when you give yourself a name, it's like a character, so you feel like you need the whole thing.
Aye.
I'm the same because obviously, like majority of people I meet out and about know me as Wee Wido.
Is that not your real name?
You'd think so, and I'm the same. Like I could easily just go, Wido.
Aye.
And
Well, that's what you've bought. That's your
Wee
Wido. Well,
and then you've got
some might disagree.
so it's like
I'm saying nothing.
so it's like
Mrs.
Bond,
Frasta.
James Bond.
James
You're like
Bond.
Jerry Taylor.
Aye, so basically during lockdown again, so you've got this thing called Spotlight for anyone that doesn't know, for an actor. It's like the actor's website. And you're not allowed to have the same name as another actor.
So it's the same as like
clown makeup and things like that. So it's trademarked. So I had trademarked the name Chris Taylor in the UK, and I had done for a couple of years. And then this is my life, right? I couldn't get an agent for love nor money. Went into lockdown, and an agent from down south phoned me and signed me up without even watching me, just through a recommendation. Don't know if they were bored and went, what are we doing this lockdown? I need someone Scottish. So they got in touch with me and says, look, I've not even seen you. I've just gone by recommendations. Did a Zoom call, signed me up. And I was like, fucking hell, lockdown, great. I've got an agent and I can't work because there was nothing. There's nothing going about. So she says, look, I've tried to register in Spotlight, but it's rejecting you. It's like, I'm on Spotlight. And she went, no, you stopped paying your fees during lockdown. I went, oh, aye, so I did. I went, what will I do? Keep paying my lockdown fees or drink?
Yep.
So I used that money to drink, to get my bucky and stuff like that. Because I thought, fuck it, nobody's working. Boom, just like that. There was some guy on Love Island called Chris Taylor, right? I think he was only on it for a couple of weeks.
I remember.
So his agent
he stole your
trademarked their name. So everyone's going on about, I lost my relationship during lockdown. I lost my house. I lost my fucking name. Do you know what I mean? But the way I look at it, at first I struggled with it. Jerry Lewis was my favourite actor growing up, comedian, and I kind of steal a lot of stuff from him, his stupid comedy. But the way I look at it now is, Chris was the drinker. Jerry's no.
Right.
Jerry had a wee
persona.
Couple, but Jerry didn't cause as much trouble. And maybe that's me running away from it.
So Jerry's your
But Jerry, for about a year I was like, call me whatever. But now I'm like, I like Jerry. However, somebody did point out that Jerry Taylor sounds like genitalia, so it's kind of
Genitalia.
Oh fuck!
See, people have got several names for me, but none of them are care to repeat.
But with the acting. Sorry if I'm talking too much.
No, that's the whole point you've been here.
Oh, I fair enough. Right,
We can't get a word in edgeways.
do you know what a podcast is?
Look at us, we're matching trainers.
I know. I did see that.
I've got mine.
I like them.
You called us a Sharpie, but didn't you? That's what we're doing out there. That's so long, man. How
do I put this? These trainers are no real. I got them. They specially made in China. I saw them.
See, now you point them out, they do look shite.
Yeah, no.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. No, they're good. I like them.
I love them.
Mine's are called dumps.
Mine's are
dunks.
Dunks.
Mine's
What
are
did I call them? Dumps.
Mine's are fake and all, mate. Don't worry about it.
Are they actually?
Aye,
I don't know.
100%.
Mine's are real.
Yeah, let me see.
You'd be robbed.
Tramps. No.
Oh, you can
Do you know why I can get new trainers now? Because I'm not drinking.
Same ones.
I would do pre-mark trainers all the time. I didn't care what I looked like and that. And it's because I was like, if I buy extra trainers, then I'm not going to get my drink and my Charlie. Because Charlie and that would come hand in hand with cocaine and stuff.
So
Not a lot.
let's go to the start, because we're almost halfway through. But let's go to the start. Where does it all kick off for you? Let me start the story.
Right, so I joined. I always liked acting when I was a kid. I was a show off. And I joined the youth theatre, and then I'll sum it up. I'll kind of gloss over because I'm on record a lot talking about it. What I'm going to tell you today is the deep dive what happened in the army that I've opened up in the documentary about recently. I'm going to do it here, and I'm going to say on record it's the last time I ever talk about what happened in the army, because it was 20 years ago, and I've let it go, but I still talk about it. But this is the last time, so you guys will get it. But I've never at this point went into detail what happened, so I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to get it out of the way because my son, I don't want him having to. He knows, but he doesn't know to the extent, but it'll be out there. So I joined the army when I was 17 because I was basically going out and taking drugs all the time, eckies, letting my mod down. I offered an eckie to one of my cousins in a nightclub at one point, you know what I mean?
Aye.
I was 16, they must have been about 15. Fucking joke. And I woke up the next day, my mum told me, you know what you did last night? And I was like, fuck, because I was selling, I was dealing at the time. I was so good at getting eckies from my mates. And I was going up to this guy and he went, mate, you're coming up to me 20 times a night. He says, here, boom. So he gave me 50. He went, once they're gone, just give me the money. They went that night. Of course. And he's like, there's another 50. I was selling about 200, 300 eckies a night, and I was going out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. Boom. Until I got barred for every club because they all knew it. And I was fucking dripping with cash. I had a full-time job in a call centre because I had the gift of the gab. I was 16 and I was living in a bed set. I moved out when I was 16, never looked back. I always wanted to be independent. It fucked me though, because in the bed set, it was eckies all the time. And it's all in my book, Me, Myself and Weed, right? Plug. So that was all kicking off, and I was letting the family down. Long story short, I got that depressed, went to Prestwick train station, stood on the bridge and went, next train that's coming in, I'm jumping in front of it. And there was no ifs or buts, I was doing it. But then what I realised, when a train's coming into the station, it's not moving as fast as it would if it was, and I went, I'll feel that. So when it came in, I went, fuck, I'll just get on it. And in my head, I'm going to London to be homeless, and I'll fucking survive down there. So I'm on the train, I get as far as Irvine before the conductor came and I went, I've no money for what it is. So I got off at Irvine and I went, right, I'll walk to London. Now I'm fucked at the time, right?
Of course.
Absolutely fucked. Not even on drugs. I was broken.
Right.
I'd even went to my local church to try and get the minister, but I don't know what to do. I was totally lost. My gran had just died recently and she was a big part of my life. So I went to Irvine. I just went, I'll just walk from Irvine to London. Probably wasn't even going the ring, probably heading back to Prestwick. I was locked in Irvine and I remember it, and I just looked and I went, what's that sign? Army. It was the Army Recruitment Office.
Right.
So I went, right, I'll just fucking join the Army. That's
They'll
it.
get you to London.
They'll get me to London. Mate, see if the fucking Foreign Legion were there, I'd have joined that. If a Jehovah's Witness had come up to me like, sign me up, I'd have been one of the Harry Krishners. But I just wanted a way
If you join the Foreign Legion, they change your name as well, so you gotta get your name changed. What do you want back, Jerry Taylor?
I'd have done anything. I just wanted my life to change, and I saw this sign. I went, I'll just go in. So I just went in. I remember sitting. I went, I want to join the army. And the guy went, calm the fuck down, sit down. And I was like, oh, right. I kind of liked that.
Aye.
Not enough. I made that look sexual. But I was like, fuck, right. So I sat down, and then they went round the back. He was English actually, and then he went round the back and brought this guy out who had a white hackle, the feather, Royal Highland Fusiliers, and he's like, sit down. What you want to do? I said, I'm fucking sick of life for that. And he's like, and you can tell he's like, I've got one.
Yeah.
Because they're paid to recruit. And I've just come in and went, just take me. So he's like, look. He says, can't he just take you the day? And I went, how no? It's like, you need to do like a 3-day selection course. Fill out your paperwork. So I filled out the paperwork and I went back home to my mother and I says, I'm joining the army. And she laughed, right? And I get it. At the time I was raging, but I got it because I was one of those guys, I was always going to do everything.
Aye.
And I think it's because she laughed that I stuck to it, because I might not have done it. Mm-hmm. And she said, aye, right, okay. And I went and did the 3-day selection and I got accepted. It was like 2 days after that, I was down in Pennycook, do the 3-day selection, came back and they got a letter and went, a week and a half you're signing on. So from 2 weeks to the day I went in, so done all that, and I was still I knew I had to come off drugs because they were going to test me. They were still smoking a lot of weed then. So I was drinking loads of water, pissing 5 times a day, get this out my system, doing everything I can before I went in. And my mum, she had a big, this is the thing about the drink. So my mum organised a surprise party to basically say, well done, you're sorting your life out, you're going to the army. And everyone that I thought I'd lost, my friends and family, because this is when I'm 16.
Yep.
My drinking had caused so many issues that I didn't know. Well, I did know, I just wasn't admitting to it. So I nearly didn't end up at that party because it was my sister and her husband's job at the time to distract me. So they took me to a pub. And it took them fucking ages to get me out of that pub.
Sorry for laughing.
No, laugh, because
Turn up to his party and I've last orders, man.
laugh because it's my fucking problem. It was me, I'm the one. So laugh away because that's part of the process. So they were like, and I remember just going, look, just fucking come on the road, please. We're not going to see you in ages. Mum and Dad just went in. I was like, fucking right, okay, I want to go with my pals. But so I went in a huff up the road and then opened the door and there was like 60 folk, man, in my house. And I was like, all gave me presents and everything. And I remember that moment going, fucking get you, look what you've got. You could have lost all this. You are loved. So it was a great night. And then I went to the army and it was going well. Everything was going great. The first, you do your first 12 weeks at Pennycook Barracks. And it was like your first 6 weeks is when everything's stripped bare. Like your bed sheets are army bed sheets. Everything's, but like really, it's about changing who you are the first 6 weeks and desensitising you. And they did that with me. I was a crier and I was like, oh. But when I'm angry, I cry. So when somebody's shouting in my face, the first thing I do, see if you see my eyes watering, a lot of folk make a mistake and go, he's feared. It's no, that means I'm about to fucking snap and jump at you.
Right.
I don't do it now that I'm not drinking, but I go like that and my eyes water. And I'm literally, I've fucking in a fight, I bit the tip of a guy's nose off down in Blackpool once, and he was massive as well, just because of the way he was with me. So I don't take well to discipline stuff. So they battered that out of me. And then it came to going to Catterick, which was down south. And that's your military training, your infantry training. So your first one's your basic training, they teach you how to use rifles, make your beds and that. And then it's into the tactics. So we were down in England and our training sergeant, I'll not mention his name because I don't want to give the energy. That's another reason this is the last time I speak about it. So big, massive guy for Wales. Now I'm not over exaggerating this to try and make it look like that's why I couldn't fight back. This guy was fucking massive. He would do and I'm not kidding, 1,000 press ups in the corridor every morning and 1,000 sit ups. Right? He was huge. He looked a bit like Sylvester Stallone actually. Welsh, massive, big, desperate Dan jaw. I'll get to that jaw in a minute. And it was an intimidation thing I think he was doing, but we loved him when we first went in because he was cool.
Aye.
And he was like, and he would bring me into the office and he's like, right, you do tests in the army, like IQ stuff. And I was like quite brainier than some of them, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I was the highest in the class, right? I was the most intelligent in the class. And he brought me into his office and he was like, right, sit down. He's like, you're the smart cunt, I can't be fucked. Mark everyone's tests for today. So I'm marking my mates' tests and he went, any of them fail, they're out and they have to go to college for 2 months before we let them back in. So I'm like, fuck. So I've cheated a few of my mates through. So I'm marking them all. So they're like, and then he's like, and then he went, there's a carton of fags. So I went and shared them out with my mates. It's like, fucking, they're like, he fucking likes you. And I'm like, yes, man. Because we've went for our sergeants in the last place going the opposite. And he's like, a bit of a mate.
Right.
And then there's another 200 fags, go and sell them and they'll split the profits. I was going selling fags for him and all that. So then it was one weekend and the boys said, there was a few dodgy things happened to him, right? He would get drunk and come into the dorms and then box with us, but he would kick fuck out of us. But it was great fun. It was weird. So he was like one of the boys. So anyway, one day we were all skint. It was a Friday and the boys went, Tailsy, that was my nickname. In fact, no, my nickname wasn't Tailsy. That wasn't in the regiment. What was my nickname? In Mouth, Private Mouth, because I would have shut the fuck up, the lap mouth, or Taylor, whatever it was. We were all skint. He's like, go and ask the sergeant for a sub. We get paid next week. He'll sub you and we can all go out. And I was like, I'm not doing it. And they talked me into it through the day because we were all skint. It was a Friday night. We went out. You went with our bottles of bucky.
Aye.
So I went to his office and he was drinking cans of Foster's. I'll never forget it, man. And he's like, fucking sit down. I was like, oh. He's like, drink one of them. I was like, this is fucking brilliant. I'm drinking. He's like, what are you fucking here for? You need more fags? I was like, no, look, the boys have, and I'm starting. He went, you fucking asked me the question. I went, can we borrow some money to next week? We can't get out. And he went, of course you fucking can. I'll meet you here at 5. Boom. So I went, told the boys, and all the boys were like, fucking yes, man. I'm getting in with the sergeant. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do well in the regiment, because he's like, it's a big thing for one of your superiors. So I was like, brilliant. So I went back to his office when we'd all been stood down for the night, got my shirt on, and the boys, he's like, you need to come to the bank with me in, was it Richmond or somewhere in Cartrick, near Cartrick. He's like, I need to get the band money out, and then I'll bring it back and you can give the money to the boys. And I'm like, all right, okay, fair enough. And the boys are like, brilliant. I said, right, I'll be back in 10 minutes. So he's dressed up and all, and we've went to this pub. He's like, come in here for a pint first. And I'm like, oh, but I'm to take the money back for the boys, because we'd all lined up like where they were going and everything. And he's like, no. He says, so you don't want to have a drink with your fucking sergeant? You're asking me for money, but you won't fucking share a drink with me?
Of course.
And I'm like, oh, will I? Fucking brilliant. So I had one night, and I did that again for the second pint. And I went, Sergeant, and he hadn't given me the money yet. And I says, look, I really need, and he went, you'll get your fucking money when I tell you you're getting your money. And it became more of a sergeant thing. And I was like, oh, fuck, right, okay. Days I'm still no thinking anything. And he's like, I'm taking you out myself tonight. We're going to a club called Tall Trees. Now, I'd held at Tall Trees. It's fucking massive, but I think it was Darlington. And you get a band and it's free drink all night. They had hot dog stands and everything in it. It was fucking great.
Right.
And I was like, fuck the boys. Right? And I was like, right, I'm going to do my sergeant. A couple of pints, dude. And that's what he was doing, though.
Aye.
That's what he was doing. So we got to Tall Trees, and I remember I'm fucking steaming. And we got the band and it's free drink. And I remember him going, just drink as much as you can. And he kept bringing me whiskies, straight whiskies, right? Straight whiskies. And I must have about 8 or 9. Doubles, easy. And I remember him fucking karate kicking some cunt in the head. Right? Somebody was like, oh man. And he's like, man, we're going. And this guy's come up and he's just went, whoosh. It was one of those that you blink at. It's like Chris Tucker. Which one you kicking me? It was like one of them, and the guy's just fucking dropped. He didn't go back, didn't go forward, just dropped. And this guy could fight. He was brilliant. A fighter, brilliant. So we've gone out, and I remember the fresh air hit me, and I'm like, I'm fucked. Now, bearing in mind, to get out the barracks, I didn't sign out because I left with him. But you've got to sign in and out. And I went, how can I sign back in when I've no signed out? That's a jail threat. That's like, you've snuck out fucking night.
Without telling anybody.
Aye, so I says, I've never signed out, and I'm in this taxi. And he's just went, stay at mine the night. Now, this guy's married with kids.
Right.
Staying in the sergeant's,
Aye.
the sergeant's, whatever you call it, I've forgotten.
Other quarters or
The quarters, aye. And I'm like, fucking, what? His wife and kids, I was like, that's fucking, I'm staying at the sergeant's. Get a drink. So, we've got in his house, and what I remember is, he's opened the door, and then as soon as you turn right the stairs, I went to go into his living room, and he just went, go to your fucking bed. And I'm like, oh, okay, wife and kids. And he's like that, and he's opened the door, and he's pushed me into the spare room. And I remember it, and I just remember lying in the bed, even kind of giggly, going like that. And then he's went there, I was like, right, he's away, his wife and his kid. And then I fell asleep. And then all I remember is waking up and going, I'm getting my cock sucked. I'm getting a blowjob. And I'm like, oh, where did I go? And then I felt his chin and his stubble. And I was like, this isn't happening, man. This is not fucking happening. So then I've kind of opened my eyes and he's there, and he's total, like, it's dark, but there's enough shadow, and fuck, it was horrible, man. So he's proper going to town. And I had a hard on, and I'm going, what the fuck? That's what I beat myself up for years.
No,
but I'm sleeping.
It's just a natural thing.
He's doing it when I'm sleeping. He must have been at me for fucking half an hour to try and get me hard while I'm sleeping. So I woke up. Now, the thing that pisses me off, man, the folk that go, why didn't you just fucking do this or fucking do that? I was that guy that would have said that. But when you wake up and something like that is happening to you, you freeze.
Of course, man.
And I went, if I make a noise and he knows I'm awake, he's going to kill me. He thinks I'm asleep, that's why he's doing it, and he's getting away with it.
Fucking
so
hell.
I've got to just take this. So I'm just lying there while he's doing it.
Horrible.
And I'm going, if I lose my hard on, he knows I'm awake. When you're fighting and all this stuff's going in your head, and I look and there's a lamp, and I'm like, hit him with that, I've got to kill him. How does that look? I go back and folk will think, oh, you're shagging him and then kill him and this. Everyone's going through my head. So,
fucking hell.
So what I've done is I've managed to kind of do this, pretending I'm sleeping and do that wriggly stuff, and then put my hands down like that and then rolled over. And he's trying to roll me back, and I've just went solid now. And now he knows I'm awake. And I went, he's right, two things are going to happen. He's either going to rape me, I've just showed him my ass, And that's what I'm going, I've just leant over. I've just turned over. And fuck knows how, but he tried, he went, ugh. And I remember the grunt, man. And he's trying to move me back over and I didn't. And I'm like that. And he's finally gave up. And he's got up and he's doing this and he's staggered. And I've just, first time, gave eye contact and I've glimpsed as he opens the door and all I saw was his silhouette, this naked silhouette of this massive guy just walking out the door, and then the door just shut over. And I've just lay there for hours and hours fucking going, is his wife there? Is this or that? If I try and run, he's going to kill me. So my plan was, stay there until the morning, then go for it. The neighbours will be up, smash his windows, fucking do anything, just say, this has happened. So I woke up and I went to the top of the stairs. And I could hear him fucking whistling downstairs and a frying pan going. I remember hearing the crackle and the whistle, and it's like,
as if nothing's happened, as if it's just another
So I
day.
went, well, if that cunt's playing it this way, I've got to play it this way. So I went down the stairs and I went for the door and he's like, through here. Fuck, so I've had to turn thinking I'm going to face his wife and kids, fucking sitting there having breakfast and all that. Turns out they'd been away for the weekend back down to Wales, so he planned it. He'd planned the whole thing. And he's like, made your breakfast. And I'm like, fuck. So I did this. Oh, great night last night, wasn't it? Aye. I didn't want him thinking I'd remembered anything. Because my plan was get out the house and then fucking tell someone. So I've had to sit and eat a full fry up, man. Rough. Or attempt to eat it. Because he's one of those cunts, fucking eat it. And I think that was all part of it. And he was using that breakfast to try and test what does he remember. And I think my acting skills, and I'm no kidding, saved my life that day.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he'd murdered me. He was testing to see.
Hell, man.
So he finally lets me out, and I even did this. He's put his hand in the lock and he's looked at me. And then he's unlocked it and went, go. And I think that was his look to say, I kind of know. And I know you know. Don't fucking say anything. So I've still got to go back to the camp to face these boys that I didn't get the money for. So I went back, the fucking worst walk of my life. Didn't even know where I was. How far was the camp? Rough as fuck, mind, because I'd been drinking all night and this has happened going, am I gay? Am I fucking, did I lead them on? What the fuck's going on? And I finally got back to the camp. None of the boys were there. They'd all been out doing their own thing. They managed to get money. Where there's a will, there's a way. And they all came in and I was just lying on my bed, face down, like that. That's how I sleep now. I roll over onto my side. When I drink, when I was drinking, I roll over onto my side and naturally take that position. I have night terrors. I talk in my sleep, I elbow in my sleep, and somebody touched me. It fucking ruined me, man. And I mean ruined me. I was drinking before the army, right? So I'm not going to use that as my excuse, but by fuck did it escalate my drinking. It escalated it, so we did that, and then I never said in. The boys came in, right? And some of them knew. Like, because they came in, oh, where were you fucking loud? Did you get your hole last night? And I went, no, I fucking didn't. And I lost it, smashed my locker up, fucking threw my bed up and everything and all that. So they knew something was up, but like, he's had a fucking bad night. Just thought I'd had a knockback or something, right?
How long did you have to?
So it was about 3 weeks later. About 3 weeks later, I went down, all the boys would go out every weekend after it. I wouldn't, but I'd stay the fuck away from the fucking camp. I couldn't get near it. So I found a place, we used to call it Buckfast Bridge, and it was behind the Tesco. There was this wee garden area with a wee bridge, and no fucker would go near, a wee stream. So we'd always go there with the boys. We ended up calling it Bucky Bridge. But one of these Saturdays, I just went, I'm just going myself, made my excuses and left, and I snuck down there. And I snuck down, and one of the other boys was there, by himself, drinking Bucky. I'll not say his name.
Of course.
He's just sat there, and the look he had in his face, I went, I know that fucking look. I went, there's no way so I just went and sat with him and he went, you all right? And I went, no. He's like, me either. I went, you want to talk about it? He went, yeah, fuck. And I went, me either. So we didn't speak. And we were just drinking the Bucky. I don't know what it was that was said. I don't think it was anything said. It was a look. And we looked at each other. And our eyes started filling up and I went, you too? And he went, Sergeant? And I went, aye. And we just both buckled. And it happened to him. It happened to him the night before. It happened the night before, so we went, right. And then, I've never spoken about this, but I don't think. Then all of a sudden, when we opened up, all the boys appeared. Big Hammy. See, Hammy, if you're watching, I've been trying to get a hold of you for years, mate. I can't get you on Facebook, but mate, what you did that day. So Hammy was the tough one out of us, all right? Hammy kind of was the leader out of us. And he turned up and he's like, what the fuck's going on, you two? Right, he knew something had been happening. He's like, just fucking, and I think the wee guy that I'd been speaking to, and he just went, just say. And I just went, fucking sergeant, suck my cock. And Hammy just went, I fucking knew that bastard was up to something. And not one of them questioned. I was scared that folk would think I was a liar. That's the hardest thing, because some folks still say it. Yeah. Some folks still say it. So Hammy basically that day went, right, this is what we're doing. We're not outing them the new. He says, we're going to do it in the last day because they're not going to believe us. Or something along those lines. No, Hammy wanted to kill him, actually. He's like, we'll fucking kill the cunt. And that boy had her back like fucking nothing else. And it came the very last day, and it's the biggest regret ever. We should have just said, because one of the other boys on the very last night, he did the same, but this time it was worse. And he basically said to the boy, I'm not stopping till you come. And he went through a 4-hour ordeal where he had to try and get him so hard for this guy, because his thing was swallowing guys cum. And
you ever know?
And he tried to kill himself.
Guy, Jerry, if he was
so basically this guy tried to kill himself, and then he basically went straight to the sergeant majors and went, this is what he did. And it all started kicking off. Their parents were all coming to watch our final parade and everything, and this is just coming out. So we're all told, keep it quiet. And I'm like, I'm a fuck. We went straight to the sergeant majors and went, happened to us or no, happened to them. We should have said long ago this would not have happened to this guy. So I still feel terrible. If we'd have went forward, that might not have happened to him, because he suffered the worst. I don't know if he's still with us, because I know he took a few attempts at his life. So that guy he get chucked out of camp that day, and then it was a court martial, and there were 12 guys came forward after it. And apparently, guys before it, our training had went to and they brushed it under the carpet.
Yep.
So it'd been swept under the carpet. I had to go to my regiment, the Royal Highland Fusiliers, for like a year and a half before the court martial. I didn't want anything to do with the army after it. I wanted to do it. A year and a half of some people saying, you lied about that, cunt, this and that. On the very day's court martial, like a year and a half later, 10 minutes before the trial, he pleaded guilty, when he could have done it a year and a half before, but he did it on purpose to drag it all out.
Oh, of course.
And then the minute he pled guilty, you can go and speak to the CPN now. Now we'll take it seriously. Okay, you can get out. But they tried everything to keep me in. Oh, we'll give you a promotion. We'll give you this. I was like, no, you're not trying to help me. You're trying to fucking keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. And it was fucking horrible. They didn't show me any fucking thing during it, like nothing at all. And then all of a sudden, when he's found guilty, you're a great soldier. Oh, I think you would really make it in this fucking. And I was like, you were calling me the shittest soldier ever about 5 weeks ago because I can't map read. Now I'm fucking G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? So that happened. So that's it, mate. And that's it. That's basically exactly how it happened. And then my drinking fucking heavy escalated.
I mean, really, thank you for that. I'm really, really moved. A couple of questions that I would have is, do you find now with your experiences, like talking helps?
I didn't talk enough about it. I drank my way. Like, genuinely now, part of being sober is I desensitised myself to a lot of hurt and stuff, and now I've got to deal with it. And the thing is, I'm dealing with it. Like, see, just now, I just didn't know how much it was still there until I spoke about it, but it's a good thing. It's always good to talk.
Though, because 20 years ago, nobody spoke.
I was 18. I was a boy.
Especially about things like that. But men, at that point, never ever spoke to anybody. You kept everything to yourself.
How do you feel, obviously, and I actually know one or two, but
I got shot your vape. That was quite emotional.
See the Celtic Boys Club thing? Mm-hmm. I find a lot of people don't really want to face that because they tend to. It wasn't just Celtic Boys Club, but different boys club.
But
it wasn't the British Army that fucking did that to me. It was him, and that sickens me when people say it. And I'm like, do you think I condone that fucking shit? Do you think I condone it? You're disgusting bastards, by the way. See anyone that uses any kind of fucking child fucking abuse as point scoring. We want them done and all. We want every single one of them done. Celtic that they fucking do. Sorry, that's one of my triggers. One of my triggers. It's a fucking joke. And see folk that use it point scoring. Even Celtic fans go, but your club do it. Get a fucking grip of yourselves, Fitber.
That's great. And how do you feel, Jerry? See if something is in the thing. That another thing that annoys me is, see if you get any of these taking away football historical abuse cases, or something's happened to any female, and people say, why did they not report it at the time?
Oh, mate, because
there's nothing worse in my mind than victim blaming. I hate it. And it's the same when things happen to women. It's like, oh, the way she's dressed and this and that, and
It's
there's
horrible,
nothing
man.
worse than blaming the victim. It's a coward's way of doing it.
Why did you go to his house? Why did you go out with a drink with him?
No,
you know what I mean?
there is that. My question is, so see after, so what's your advice to somebody who's went through something similar, right? Because that's going to happen, right? What's your advice now because you're now in the 12-step programme, but you've been in the 12-step programme for how long now?
Nearly 4.5 months now.
4.5 months now. But see, up until that point, what was your coping mechanism? Because
Drinking and weed.
drinking was your coping mechanism?
Drinking and weed, aye. So anytime, like, even if something went well, I didn't know how to cope with it. Oh, I'm on a high. I'll take a drink, I'll smoke a joint. Or 10 joints and fucking 40 drinks. Or 20 drinks and a bag of Charlie. Do you know what I mean? Whatever would make me not think about it. And I used it as an excuse, by the way, right? So it escalated my drinking. But anyway, just to go off of that, no, a tangent. We worked out, so during your A, you've got to do a lot of kind of, what's the word, soul searching and stuff. And I was like, aye, I'm an alkie because of the army. I'm an alkie because of the army. It was a fuck. So basically it turns out my first ever drink, I've been an alcoholic since I was 6, right? So my papa used to leave a video out in a Sunday morning while my gran was at church, and then your breakfast and that, and there'd be a different video every week. So it was Roger Rabbit this weekend, just me, fucking wearing my fucking He-Man jammies and all that, but 6 or 7. And I remember watching Roger Rabbit and Bob Hoskins. He pours a decanter of whiskey in the office and he takes a drink. And the actor in me, because I was always like youth theatres and that, and I was like, oh, that looked cool. Why is he drinking that? He changed when he drank that. And then I looked and my papa had a decanter with whiskey in it.
Right.
And I went, oh, fuck it. So I'm got my cheap cornflakes, right? My glass of milk or whatever, and a whiskey, and I've poured it into the glass to copy, but and I've rewound it. And I watched him drink it and I drank it the same and I went, oh! And I remember running around the living room going, trying not to wake my papa up. My gran's at fucking church at the time, by the way, and I'm jumping, and I went, oh, that was horrible. And then the glow hit me. And I remember going, oh, I feel dead warm. I drank a more. I'm fucking cutting about pissed at 6 years old, right? So I was like to my cousins, do you ever do it when you're younger, pretending to go about drinking the parents?
No.
And I was like to my cousins, like, oh, let's go and you'd mind sweep. They were faking it. I was fucking down in it. I was drinking the drink thinking they were too, so I was steaming. And I've always done that. Always done it. Like, see that it's not like this, but the Schlur, Schlur, children's wine, right? Yep. So we'd get, children's wine at Christmas. I'd be buzzing for that. That's the alky in me. So I would pretend I was drunk, and then at New Year's and stuff I'd get around and I'd do that. So I've been an alcoholic since I was 6 years old because I loved the fucking feeling of it. Yep. Not because of anything else. I loved how it made me feel, and then I started to associate a breakup when I was 16, have a whiskey, and I felt a wee bit better. I wasn't crying as much, and that just became my medicine. Wow. Simple as.
Wow, man.
So a deep dive the day, eh?
Fucking hell, I know.
Anyway, who wants a joke? Right. Man walks into a bar.
I've never been happier. I've been permanently disbarred for the army.
Aye, mate, I know. I watched this all the Celtic fans. You were in the army.
I got disbarred. I fractured my skull. And I'd went and done my 2 days, or your 3 days, whatever it is, and it was when I went in for my medical. And your process seemed dead quick compared to mine. It took about 3 months, and they sent us for 2 practice trial days. And at the times I was fine, and then my pal's ma decked me. Right, I was full of eckies. Yeah. My pal's ma decked me. I banged my head off a curb. Right, I was done. Right, I was in hospital for days. But between that and the 3 days starting, I'd managed to take myself out of bed, and I was about, and I never mentioned it to MD. And I went in for my medical, and obviously the scar still looked fresh, and they seen it. And they went, so what's happened to you? And I went, I fell and banged my head. And then, all right, we're going. So they sent away for a report, and the report came back, and it was like, you've fractured your skull, you can't be in the army. And I was, at the time, devastated. I was only 17 or 18, maybe 19, whatever it was. And I didn't want to join the army, and then I lost my job, and I was like, do you know what, it's an option, and I was going to do it. And then obviously I get permanently expelled, and I was like, that's cool, that's fine, permanently exempt for it. Suits me. Well, it didn't suit me, I was raging. And it wasn't until about 3 months down the line when I'd get a job again, I was like, do you know what, I've never been happy. I didn't want to be in the army.
I'm raging, they might have sucked your cock and stood. You got a joke about it now though.
That's the thing.
I don't know if it was at my mum's, so I don't paraphrase me on this more, sorry if it wasn't, but I remember I was at a dinner table. My mum was definitely there and we were talking about it, and I went, I don't like talking about it, it really hurt. He's no phoned me, I've not had any flu or something. I mean, you've got to...
You need to find humour in these situations.
My first play I wrote was about what happened, and it all became, sorry for cutting in, my CPN was like that. Write a letter to him and burn it. You know, one of the wanky things. And I'm like, fuck off.
Like journal on your daft thoughts and negative thoughts and burning it.
And then I get drunk.
My child abuse story is always the fact that, I mean, I'm not the best looking guy, but I was at Celtic Boys Club. I was an older boy, and never once did somebody make an advance on me. How ugly must I be? You know what I mean? Like,
You feel I left it, mate.
Oh, down there.
I know, I wrote to Jim will fix it hundreds of times. Like, raging. So but it's if I look back and regret, I'd never have written Me, Myself and Weed. I'd never have written my first play, because that came from the letter I wrote to burn. I didn't burn it. Because I woke up the next day after being, a couple of days after I read it, but that's quite a good monologue. Turned it into a wee scene, then it became a play, and then I put the play on, and that's how my career started.
And
To
that's how
60
it
people at the
began with
market
that.
and pub that I did it in, to 3,000 people at the Armadillo.
Wow.
10 years later. And that was all well pished. And now I'm sober. Hopefully I can do a lot of damage now that I'm sober, but in a good way. Work damage.
Yeah.
You've been a great friend, mate, so thank you so much. And I mean that.
Friends.
Let's talk about some fun stuff now. Folk will be watching this going, fucking I came in to watch about their TikTok. I don't know how good I went on this before I watched it.
What is your TikTok adventures you've joined together?
I joined
What do you
together.
plan?
Just old Jerry versus Wido on it, or if you go on TikTok, a pair of dafties. I'm just going to be doing daft challenges and whatever else we can fit in.
And you've just done one, maybe we're coming
Just
in there.
done one
what
there,
was that?
aye.
Shall we
It's
wait
a bit like Jackass stuff, isn't it?
It's turning that way.
It's turning that way. We're getting the suggestions are getting a wee bit more and more extreme.
They are.
So
So
when
I'm
you
waiting for shoot each other in the face.
Where are you getting the suggestions for? Is it just people that are watching?
Twitter. We've searched for a few ourselves, and then Twitter, and then other people writing the stuff in the comments on TikTok, whatever. So you just search TikTok, man. These challenges are done. Everybody's doing them.
Aye, we're just
My favourite Jackass one was when they get the guy to walk over. Do you ever see that one? There's a tightrope, and he was walking over past the crocodiles or alligators,
aye.
and he had the meat attached to his private part.
Oh no! And the best one's the giant hand for me. You seen that one? And he just goes and he's carrying the soup and all that, and then he just attached bags of flour to it. They're my favourite. But I think we're going that way. Aren't we?
Oh, definitely.
How bad was that milkshake that he made you drink?
Horrible, man. Horrible. I think it's made worse, right? Because I've got caphophobia, right? Which is a phobia of coffee.
Is that a thing though? Is it called caphophobia?
Yeah.
Caphophobia?
Yeah.
Mate,
So,
you should see him.
like horrible. Like I can't be in the vicinity of it. When I first met Vicky, and I moved in, I was like, oh cool. She had a wee office, and I walked in, and it was at night time. I was like, oh, I can smell coffee. And I stepped right back out of the office, and I went, "You've been drinking coffee?" And she went, "Aye, this morning." I went, "Oh no," I says, "You can't drink coffee if I'm here." I was like, "See, if you drink it," I says, "You need to either wait till I'm at the house, and if you've got a cup, you need to make sure it's clean before I'm home."
Is it that
can't-
bad?
Aye.
Mate, he phones me for his car. If there's been a cup of coffee in his car, and he's like,
He'd out the window and all that.
like he's bad.
can't
Man.
handle
That's
it.
why we added the shot of coffee.
Never even
used-
heard that ever.
And I used to work at McDonald's, obviously, and they've got a coffee machine, and they put me in front counter, and it was the very first day, and somebody's asked me for a coffee, and I walked up, and I pressed the button, and as soon as it came out, man, I just walked right up to the shift manager and just went, "I can't do this." What do you mean? I said, I can't be here with the smell of coffee. When you're in the kitchen, you can't smell it. As soon as you come to the front, it's all you can smell. I was like, oh no. And then even for then, even now, and I'd never noticed it before, now when I walk into McDonald's, it's the first thing I smell, and I'm like, oh,
Is it?
awful, man. And I just, everything about it's just feel like, I don't know, it's like everything in my body just contracts. It's like horrible.
It's great because it's like it's his kryptonite that I know of now.
Aye.
That
So
should
then-
be,
'cause
you've got to do a shift in Costa
Aye.
for you lose the challenge.
So then obviously we come up with like the forfeit, and then he's kind of went, aye, like, so milk mixed with orange juice, and I just went, that's easy, man, I can do that, no problem. That actually sounds nice.
I went right, shot of coffee.
Shot of coffee, and that was it. And see if it was anything else, I would have downed it in the wanner, but drinking it and no so much smelling it, because when you're drinking it,
Will you do that whole
You're
no
drink-
breathing through your nose? So you
trying.
can
Well, the
smell it?
second time I tried to hold my nose, but even that, it was just a thought that coffee's in this. It was just making me stop and go, no, I'm fucked.
It's funny because your missus Vicky was bolting worse
She
than
was
you.
bolting her off because
She was filming it.
she can't handle
disgusting.
people being sick or bolting round about it. It makes
Right.
it so I'm sitting there bolting, and then she starts bolting worse than me, and then it was just wild.
How did Romeo and Juliet?
I was going to say, we'll just finish after this. I was waiting there, but yeah, look, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Wee Wido. Brian and Jerry Taylor, mate. Man, that was a
And
deep
thank
dive.
you for
man.
everything you gave us. Thank you. That was
No worries,
incredible.
guys. I did it on
Thank
this
you so
one
much.
because I just want to thank everyone, Wido, Vicky, Lisa, Megan, and obviously Paul John Dykes and all the ACSOM folk,
Well-
and yourself for all the support.
Well, I hope you know that now you're part of Green Sunrise, if you can imagine that, that you've got another support network that we're trying to build here, and
We'll need
you're
to do a
part of
part.
that,
We'll
mate.
need to do a part 2 because I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I
Thank
feel
you,
like
guys.
there's more to tell there, aye.
Yes.
Aye, man. Sorry for talking too much, guys.
No,
It's
no,
a chance
no,
to-
no.
follow us, Pair of Dafties, on TikTok.
100% follow us.
And what's your YouTube page? Is that just Jerry Taylor?
Aye, I do metal detecting videos and all. I love you coming out with me though, aren't you? I'm taking him out, I'm going to bury
That's
him.
part 2 because I just...
Aye. Yes. A bit lighter next time, eh?
Aye, a bit later, but look, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for,
guys.
for watching today's episode. And if there's anything that troubles you in this episode, please contact us, make a comment, and all we can do is try and collaborate and connect, and obviously get your help as well. So again, thanks, Jerry, again for telling your story.
And my
It's massive.
cycle will be on eBay tomorrow. £2,500 is the start.
Good stocking filler, this one. As in, it's,
Yeah,
it's a mad story, but it's from my heart.
No, it's a brilliant story, and thank you so much, Jerry. Thanks again. mate.
Cheers, guys.
All right, guys.
Righto, thank you.